The Bakugan have all been neutralized, and the mysterious V veers his ugly head. I am Haru Ren. Welcome to my review of episode 14 of Bakugan Gen 3. So spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this episode yet, go back and watch it now. But if you have, sit back, relax, and enjoy my review of Bakugan Gen 3, episode 14. The first part is Neutralizer Full Power. Oh hey, Titanium Bruiser! I was wondering when we were going to see that. Bruiser and Hammerhead are training, but before their fight is finished, Bruiser goes back to small mode because he's worried about the new unpairing thing. Wait, what? Wait, what?
After today, Bakugan won't be able to pair with humans.
What? This is not where we left off before. Now all of a sudden they're doing this no longer pairing thing that comes completely out of nowhere? What are they thinking?
Remember what we said? That is not gonna happen.
I'm worried too. Have you seen what they're saying on the news?
You know, it's always a sign of good writing when the characters have to start their sentences off with the "remember what we said," or "did you hear," or "do you recall?"
As you know, I conducted a raid on the Great Library, which most said didn't even exist.
Homes and offices destroyed, streets damaged, destruction everywhere.
Oh no, not the news guy again! As usual with the most monotone, bored-sounding performance, yet somehow worse than before.
The latest Bakugan rampage has left the city reeling once more. Cracking down on illegal Bakugan brawls is not enough. Bakugan, they will never be able to grow into their giant forms again. Any Bakugan who fails to submit will be considered a fugitive of the law. Shut up!
I just don't get it. This was recorded after the first half had already aired, and yet they went with the same direction again, so that means this character sucks on purpose. But anyway, the government sees that banning brawls is no longer viable, so they decide to strip the Bakugan of their growing powers to stop the destruction and waste of taxpayer money from the rampages. Wait, aren't the mods in secret locations? How did they find the mods to raid? I understand how they found the Misfit mod, cause Chip had been there before, and it's not exactly in a hidden location, but everyone else is very hidden in volcanoes and caves all around the world. How did they manage to find them all in one day? But also, the government taking away pairing makes no sense. The first episode showed the Bakugan brawling just fine long before the ability to pair was even discovered. Drago even became a superstar, and the ability to pair was just an added feature that made brawling more exciting. Couldn't they just go back to brawling the way they did before the BAM zones and pairing stuff? Who or what they wouldn't win this story? Another reason why this skipping to neutralize thing doesn't work is because of the glaring problem this reboot has with pacing. I think it would have been better if in this episode the government reveals the Neutralization Act and it catches all the brawlers by surprise and we get an Order 66 style montage of it happening rather than being spoon-fed to us in exposition dumps that came out of nowhere. So Chip raids the Misfit mod, and while the SWAT guys stand there staring them down with guns, the Misfit go down a subway tunnel only to get caught again a minute later. You idiots!
Let's go to the neutralizer! What? Sorry, but there's no escaping your fate!
You literally could have cut this scene out and it wouldn't have changed a thing! So the Bakugan are taken to the neutralizer.
Get a lollipop when it's over.
You wish. Now be quiet.
This is some Nazism shit right here. And you know, Chip's whole character just makes my blood boil with how annoying he really is. Matt Folliott actually plays the role really well and convincingly. I'm not knocking on him in any way, he's just doing what he's told. But they wrote Chip's character to be so insufferable. He's literally no threat. He doesn't do anything smart or clever or anything. He just stands in the background screaming his lungs out while others are doing the heavy lifting. And it doesn't seem like he's even a tease for a more threatening villain. He's not even funny. He's just stupid. This is not a really well-written character.
Daddy would be so proud. And now, none of your Bakugan will ever go giant rampage again. That's the sound of me winning and you losing.
Shut your bitch ass up!
So the neutralizer starts, and the way they animate the scene where they show flashbacks with the Bakugan while the kids watch in despair as the Bakugan get neutralized is actually really lame. They make it seem like the Bakugan are either dying or being taken away, when that is not the case at all. And we know that because you already told us! This is not tragic or anything, so why are you trying to force us to cry? But a week goes by, the Bakugan can't pair with humans anymore, and I do like that the whole storyline, regardless of the execution, is really how a totalitarian government is suppressing the religious freedom of an entire species while spewing out BS propaganda through news media, all motivated under fear of difference.
Program appears to be working. The dangers posed by Bakugan have been eradicated worldwide.
They make it sound like Bakugan are some kind of dangerous monsters.
Yes, and it's easy to be afraid of something that's so different.
It really is a heartbreaking thing how the Bakugan are pretty much refugees from a torn world who actually pays taxes and contributes to human society by getting jobs only to be treated like criminals and stripped of their rights just because they're different. It's a really good theme they got going for this reboot. So the Misfits, now all disheartened from losing the ability to brawl, seemingly has lost all hope. But then a portal opens up with a crystal ball falling down. It is a holographic communicator, and the person contacting them is V, voiced by Ali Badsha, offering to return their powers if they agree to participate in his own tournament. Ah, great, another tournament arc. Then we move on to Hello Mr. Mask Guy, where it starts off at the exact same place we left off with! So the Misfits are unsure about V's offer as it seems too good to be true, but Juno brings up that V has access to VESTROIAN technology, which means it's possible that he is telling the truth, so Dan goes through the portal to V's mod and the other clans are also here.
And Raven had urgent business, so she sent me in her place.
Wait, isn't this a guy? You know what, I'm not even gonna bother.
Joking. We don't even know who you are, dude. Why would we? Whoa!
Does anyone else have a problem with the way I do things?
Wow, V is a badass! But yeah, this is why they wanted to rush through the neutralizer thing. It's just so we can quickly get to the V story of restoring the brawler powers. They really clearly didn't have any ideas for how to get from point A to point B. So V restores the brawling powers of the participants, and the winners get to keep their powers permanently, while the loser gets better luck next time, I guess. The first match being Dan versus Dumbbell, but when Dan tries to go for gold titanium, it fumbles because Drago doesn't want to due to how much energy it drains. In real life, that counts as a miss. You lost, Dan. So Dan goes for gold instead, and the fight is just bad. The weird thing is really that there's little to no contact with the weapons. Any contact that happens, it immediately cuts to another scene like it didn't happen at all. And then golden bands show up, which changes the gears that the Bakugan holds. Wow, that's new. Used to be that Bruiser holding the axe needs the band to be found to dual wield and work properly. Now this just changes the gear mid-match? Drago now uses Ventri's spear to throw it like a javelin for the win. So Dan and Drago got their powers back, and the episode ends with Mia being the next one to fight. Based! So that was Bakugan Gen 3 episode 14. Let me know what your rating of the show was in the comments down below. This episode was the stepping point towards a more deeper story, but everything about the execution just seems rushed, like they had no idea what to do to get to this point. The whole neutralization thing came completely out of nowhere without any build-up or introduction. Chip is not a threatening or even funny villain, he's just annoying. Lots of the stuff leading up to the neutralizer seems pointless, and the action was a bit lackluster. The whole idea of the Bakugan being persecuted the way they are under totalitarian authority is actually really good and can create a longer lasting background narrative, and definitely is something different that they are doing, and it's at least getting into the interesting V tournament arc. But everything else about how we got to this point was just really messy. So this episode gets a really low special attack in the middle. Thank you for watching this review of Bakugan Gen 3. Be sure to press the like button and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren, thank God for Rapid Fire, and Ventry is based. Bye!